always believed trust was the foundation of any marriage. For 10 years, I gave my heart, my time, and everything I had to my wife, Alina. She was a schoolteacher, well respected, admired by her students, and always so composed. I thought we had the perfect life. But perfection is a clever disguise, and I was too blind to see the cracks forming beneath it. It started with the late-night meetings she claimed were school-related. At first, I believed her. Teachers work hard. But soon, the meetings became more frequent. She'd come home late, exhausted yet oddly satisfied, and avoid my gaze. My instinct screamed that something was off, but I shoved those thoughts aside. Love does that, it makes you foolish. One night, she came home at 11 p.m., smelling faintly of cologne. She said her coworker had spilled some on her by accident. I nodded and smiled, pretending to believe her. Inside, something cracked. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay next to her, staring at the ceiling, wondering when our marriage had taken such a sharp turn. The next day, I installed a tracking app on her phone while she was in the shower. I hated myself for it, but I needed the truth. Within a week, I had it. The app showed that she was spending long hours at a private apartment, not school. I checked the address. It didn't belong to any of her coworkers. I stayed silent. I started gathering evidence, screenshots of her location, credit card statements, and phone records. I even followed her once. I watched from my car as she laughed and hugged. A man I didn't recognize outside that same apartment. She looked so happy. Happier than she'd looked with me in years. My heart didn't break, it burned. I realized I'd been living in a fantasy while she'd already left emotionally. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I visited a lawyer and began preparing the divorce papers. I wanted it to be clean, final, and above all, dignified. The lawyer advised me to serve her a home. But I chose her workplace, her beloved school. She had chosen to disrespect me in silence. So I would choose to end things with clarity. Not vengeance. Just truth, delivered with finality. I waited for the right day. I dressed in a sharp black suit and went to the school during lunch hour. I asked to speak with her at the front office. When she arrived, her smile vanished. Her eyes scanned me, full of confusion. "Is everything okay?" She asked, clearly nervous. "Yes," I said calmly, handing her a sealed envelope. "Just thought you should have this." She looked at the papers, then back at me. "What is this?" "Divorce papers," I said quietly. "I know about everything, Alina. The lies. The apartment. The man." Her face turned pale. She tried to speak, but no words came out. I could see the panic setting in as she glanced toward the school staff watching nearby. I had no intention of humiliating her, but she had brought shame into our home first. "I never wanted it to end this way," she whispered, finally finding her voice. "Neither did I replied. "But you made that choice the day you gave yourself to someone else." She reached out to touch my arm, but I stepped back. Her eyes welled up with tears, but I remained calm. This wasn't revenge, it was release. "I don't even know what to say," she murmured. "Don't say anything," I said. "Just sign them when you're ready. My lawyer's contact is inside." As I turned to leave, I heard her call my name. I didn't turn back. I walked out of that school feeling more free than I had in years. The pain was still there, but the weight of deception had finally lifted. Later that evening, she texted me. A long message full of excuses, apologies, and regrets. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Some wounds don't need explanations, they just need closure. In the days that followed, mutual friends reached out, shocked by the news. I didn't share the details. I simply told them we had grown apart. Her secrets weren't mine to air. I wanted peace, not gossip. Alina eventually signed the papers. No contest, no drama. Just silence. Maybe guilt finally caught up with her. Or maybe she knew she had no defense. I moved out of our house and started fresh in a new apartment. It was quiet, but peaceful. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I could breathe again. Healing wasn't easy. Some nights I lay awake, replaying everything, wondering if I had missed signs, wondering if I could have done something different. But deep down, I knew this wasn't my fault. A year later, I bumped into her at a grocery store. She looked thinner, older. She smiled politely. I nodded, then walked away. There was nothing left to say. Now, I focus on myself, on building a new life without lies. I've started painting again, something I hadn't done in years. I've made new friends. I've even started dating. But I'll never forget that day at the school. The day I took my dignity back. The day I reminded myself that love without respect is nothing. And that sometimes, the quietest revenge is simply walking away.